Hey everyone, I'm Naomi and today I'm going to be going over something that I find very exciting. Hopefully you think it is too, but it is how I set up my 2020 financial planning. And I know there are so many different ways of doing this, and this is just obviously my way, but hopefully you maybe take something away from this, or maybe you'd want to incorporate some of the things that I use in your planning. But I just find these videos really fun to watch because I'm kind of that type A personality where I just like having everything like in order and very like planned out and just doing things a certain way. So this is my way of doing it. So for 2020, I got this 2020 planner. It is this like white cover that's kind of like plastic, and then inside there's just monthly pages. And then there's a bunch of little graph paper sheets in the back. So this planner is specifically for my financial planning because for 2019 I used the Hobonichi weekly planner, and although that's a very nice planner, it was just a little bit too big for me, and I know it is one of the smaller ones, but I just think that having a tiny little planner like this would help me the most, because I could stick it into any bag, bring it anywhere, you know, it doesn't weigh like anything. So I'll definitely have this more accessible. And because it's just for financial planning, I don't really need a whole big planner. So let me just show you. So this planner, there is just this sheet here, which goes over 3 years, 2019, 2020, and 2021. And it just is in a very, very small overview of the months. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do for this is I'm going to highlight my paydays. So I get paid every other Friday. So I might just go ahead and just start, you know, highlighting all of the days that I will get paid, just to have, I don't know, I just like seeing when I'm gonna get paid throughout the year, because some months I might get paid 3 times and you know, things like that. So I like seeing that in front of me. And then here is this, it's a yearly view for 2020. And the columns represent each month and the rows represent the days. So there's little tiny boxes here. So you can write in people's birthdays or things like that that you want to remember. I don't really know what I'm going to do with this page. So for now it's blank. So we'll just see what happens as the year progresses. But this starts in December, so I've already actually started using this planner. So it says December, and then it just shows, you know, little boxes for the days of the week. So as you can see, what I do with this is I write down when every single bill, you know, credit card, student loan payment is due for the month. Because I have so many different cards and things to keep track of, it's really important that I write down the due date so that I don't let something slip through the cracks. So for example, I wrote rent due on the 1st, which, you know, is obvious. And I highlight it when I paid it. So then I like being able to highlight or like check things off in boxes when I've done things, because it makes me feel more productive and it just shows my progress. So for rent due, I just, once I paid it, I took a highlighter and just highlighted rent due. I'd rather highlight it than scratch it off with a pen, because then I can see what it is that I paid for and it just looks cleaner that way. So that's how I did that. So also I wrote Fed loan due, which is my public student loans, which is now the only loans that I have left. So I scratched that off. And then I'm just gonna keep doing that for the rest of the year. As things come due and statements come out, I'm going to start, you know, adding more days in when they're due. And then in the back here is just the plain graph paper. There's a bunch of pages. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do with all of them, but for now I do have this spread here. So this is like the most exciting part for me. This is my debt tracker and my savings tracker. So I haven't set a super defined goal yet for how much I want to pay off in 2020. And I also haven't calculated how much I want to have in my savings account for 2020. So for now, I have it set at 10,000 each, which I think is doable, but that might be a little bit unlikely. I don't know. We'll see what happens, because I don't know if I'm going to be seeing a raise or how much of a bonus I'll get for the year, or, you know, things like that. They're still up in the air. So I think it's good to just start off with 10,000 each. If I don't finish it completely, that's okay. So as you can see for savings, I put $1,000 clusters of $200 per little section. So every time I deposit $200 into my savings account, I will take a highlighter and take off 200 there. So then I'll be able to really visually see how much I've been putting in and contributing. And then same for the debt side. I'm going to be aggressively paying off the remainder of my student loans, as I still have 26,000, I believe, as of today. However, I'm not going to be going as crazy into my student loans as I was for 2019. The reason being that I held about $9,000 worth of student loans with Wells Fargo, but the interest rate on those was 10%, which is absolutely astronomically crazy. So I was contributing at least $1,500 a month into that to get rid of it. So I just really, really wanted to get rid of that as quickly as possible. So thank God that's gone. So that was my 2019 goal, and I actually just completed it, which feels so good to have that gone. But now I have a new goal here of paying off the rest of my student loans. The interest rate is between 3.75% and 5%. So on average, probably around 4%. And so those are not nearly as bad as my 10% interest rate loans. So I honestly am not gonna go as crazy into these student loans, because I have other goals that I really, really want to start saving for. So I'm going to be doing a mix of contributing probably between $500 and $1,000 a month into my student loans, and then also contributing around the same amount into my savings account per month. So then I can get out of debt quicker and also have savings, because my next goal is to save for a down payment on a house, which right now seems so far away, because while I was paying off my Wells Fargo student loan, I wasn't saving anything. I have $1,000 in my emergency fund, and that's it, because my living expenses are quite cheap. So I'm comfortable having $1,000 in there. But for 2020, I definitely want to start saving money, investing money, and starting to build a fund to then eventually buy a house in the next, hopefully, 3 or 4 years. If I could save $10,000 in 2020, that would be amazing. So that is my goal here, but I really don't know what's gonna happen. But when you see it written out like this, like in just these $200 clusters, it really doesn't seem like that much. I don't know, at least to me, because I'm used to putting $1,800 a month into student loans. So that's already almost 2 of these chunks here, you know, per month. But we'll see what happens. I'm still learning as we go, because like I said, I just graduated from college 6 months ago. So I haven't really had a steady income for very long. I've only had a steady income for 6 months, because I started my job right out of school, and I'm getting into my 6-month work anniversary here. So 2020 is going to be the first time that I have an actual steady income for a whole year, given that nothing bad happens job-wise. So I'm really excited to see where this year takes me, and I really, really want to be strict with myself on saving and putting money down for debt, because it is so important to me to become financially independent. To look back on 2019, I think I've been quite good with my finances. I was living very frugally, and I still am. Sometimes I do splurge a little bit. I'm going to be continuing that kind of ideology there for 2020. I'm not gonna be going out all the time and spending a ton of money now that I paid off my most important debt. I'm still going to be attacking everything else that I have. So yeah, but one thing that I do want to spend more money on for 2020 is clothes. The reason is that I have probably 6 or 7 outfits that I wear to work, and that's it, because I just don't really have any like business-y clothes. So I've been kind of working with what I've got, and I think it's time to kind of step it up and add to my wardrobe, get rid of things that I don't wear so much. So I'm going to be selling more things on Poshmark, taking them to thrift stores, things like that, so that I can purchase more quality items. And as far as a car, I still have my Honda Civic lease for a year and a half. So I am still going to be driving that for all of 2020. And then 2021, I will be getting rid of that lease and hopefully just... And I don't think I'm going to be leasing a car again, because I just don't think that that's really worth it for me. That was kind of a mistake. So I'll probably just buy a used, maybe another Honda Civic, we'll see. But yeah, so for 2020, things are looking pretty good. I'm so happy that I was able to complete that goal that I set for myself, because honestly, it was a bit of a, like, when I started, I thought maybe I'd have like a 50% chance of being able to make it to that, because it was a pretty hard goal to attain. But you know, when you work really, really hard and you just see the end result ahead of you and you don't let anything distract you from that, then you really can do it. So yeah, let me know what your goals are for 2020, and if you incorporate any of, you know, the things that I use here. I'm going to be using the rest of the pages for more finance related things. I'll, you know, make an updated video and go through more of my planning, but this is just what I've got so far, and I think it will work great for 2020. Learning from what I did last year and in the past, I think that having a smaller, more compact planner will really help me out in sticking to my goals here and remembering what it is that my goals are. So yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already. Click on the bell icon if you'd like to be notified every time I post. I post either on Tuesday or Friday, or both if I can. So you'll be seeing me at least once a week. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!